Drive north from Atlanta, Georgia for about an hour or an hour and 20 minutes depending on traffic, and you'll see signs for Brazelton. If you peel off the highway there, you're right on the doorstep of the venue for the final two rounds of 2017's IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. Road Atlanta is a natural terrain road circuit par excellence and has a very important part in the history of sports car racing here in the USA. In 1998, Dr. Don Panos staged the first Petit Le Mans here. That led to the American Le Mans Series, and that, in turn, to IMSA and the Sports Car GT and Endurance Championships that we all enjoy so much today. Hello everybody, I'm John Hindorf, and our IMSA Radio broadcast booth looks down onto the support paddock where our field of Porsches are lined up in the sunshine, echelon style, ready to go for our last race of the season. Jake Edson's already tied up the Platinum class ahead of Corey Fergus and Trenton Estep. All eyes on the gold category. Fred Keimer, Roman De Angelis and Victor Gomez all within 8 points of taking home the big trophy. Two different Porsches out there battling today. The Platinum cars with black number panels and mirrors, gold mirrors and number panels for the gold category cars. And those gold cars, well, they're the slightly older machinery, 2014 to 2016. They were our Platinum class last year, and they're a very good race car. The Platinum cars, new for 2017, Gen 2 as Porsche calls them, with a little more power and revised aerodynamics, which generally speaking puts them at the front of the field, which was certainly the case yesterday, as once again in beautiful conditions we set the guys off racing. Will Hardiman almost had a huge accident on the grass at the exit of the final corner, but he managed not to hit anything. There was contact for gold contender Roman De Angelis, and his championship aspirations went up in steam, and he wasn't happy. Then a nasty moment for Frank Razzo at the outside of the final corner. He hits the barriers hard, bringing out a safety car. The top racing car very, very badly damaged. We did get back to green, and Jake Edson underlined a fabulous season for him and took the Platinum category. In gold, another tight affair, but David Ducote takes the win. He's not a full season contender. Victor Gomez, the fourth, doing his championship hopes no harm at all by coming in second. Well, the cars are rolling out from underneath our commentary position onto the circuit. Drivers warming up their Yokohama tyres. The green flag at Road Atlanta is next. Road Atlanta has seldom, if ever, looked any better than it does right now, as in front of a huge crowd for the 20th running of Petit Le Mans. The IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA competitors are ready to go racing for the 16th and final time in 2017. And this last race of the season will decide who is our gold champion. And they're going to have to do a bit of racing to work that out between themselves. Rest assured, we'll keep an eye on that as it develops. Whilst at the front of the field, Jake Edson, our Platinum champion, is on pole position, ahead of an all-right Motorsports second row. It's the Mo-Speed twins of Corey Fergus and Will Hardiman on row 3. David Ducote has pole position for the gold category. He's not a championship contender, but Victor Gomez is on row number 5. Now, Fred Keimer is the man who has held the lead in the Gold Championship for most of the year, but he's only down in 16th position on the outside of row number 8. The simple equation for Fred is he's got to move forward from there. He doesn't necessarily need to beat Victor Gomez, but he's got to have him in sight and be probably no more than one position behind him. Edge of the seat stuff as we head towards the green flag for the last time in 2017. The front row looks good. The right pedal goes down from Edson. He slides across to the left-hand side. That was a smart move to block. Oh, there's a crash right at the beginning. Landy's involved there, and it's Will Hardiman that's gone round. Looks like the 47 car as well of Andrew Long that was involved. I think Sebastian Landy might have got through there. Well, we were very lucky there much worse as the cars were coming off the final corner towards the green flag. We're still under green flag at the moment, and Trenton Estep has jumped to the lead. I have no clue how he managed to do that, but he's jumped ahead of Jake Edson. He was blocked on the final corner as Edson came down the hill. Edson moved to the left. It was a smart manoeuvre. And there is Andrew Long out of the car. He's not happy. He's pacing rather disappointedly.
Purposefully?
Yes, well, towards the 19 car, which is still trying to get going. The yellow flags are out now. Steam coming from the 19 car of Will Hardiman. And, oh, you see...
Yeah, it's been a really disappointing campaign for Andrew Long. He's had nothing but bad luck, and on this occasion, he was quite a long way behind the row in front of him for some reason, and Will Hardiman was alongside. Unbeknownst to Andrew Long, he wouldn't have known that there were two cars side by side with Will Hardiman trying to get alongside Corey Fergus at the start. Unfortunately, Andrew Long was very much the innocent party there.
Yeah. 3 wide coming through the final corner. The green flag is waving. You can see from the shadow on the starter's stand. Yeah, but really, that wasn't smart from anybody. I mean, you know, you try to make up positions at the start, Jeremy, but 3 right through turn 11 here.
And you're not going to get between two cars going to into turn 12 at the start. That's just not on.
Nice avoidance by Corey Fergus and by Sebastian Landy, who didn't have a great run yesterday. The eyes say it all from Andrew Long. His blue 47 car with broken steering and hands on hips for Will Hardiman, the Texas-based driver. He probably has no clue what happened there. He was getting squeezed. He was the man in the middle of that, had nowhere to go.
No, but it is him that put himself in that position.
Correct.
To be in the middle.
No, absolutely.
And that's where he probably shouldn't have been upon reflection. But a little bit of inexperience there, perhaps, for Will Hardiman. Just his second season of racing. He's shown remarkable progress in those 2 years, been superbly coached by David Moore and by Price Cobb as well. They've done a great job with him. They've brought him a long way, but I think he just got a little bit too enthusiastic there. He's had a fast car. He's had various mistakes this weekend. He's had a few spins. I think in both of the first 2 practice sessions, he was off the road. And unfortunately now it's fairly comprehensively off the road. And he's taken someone else with him. Yes,
there may have to be a little bit of mediation between those guys before their awards ceremony this evening here at the circuit. Just under 35 minutes to go. The safety car pulls out and makes a gap between itself and Trenton Estep, who now has control of the field. We're going back to green flag this time around. More great work done by the recovery and track services crews. And the green flag is waving, and we're back to racing at the 16th and final round of the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge, USA by Yokohama. And Estep gets the first part of the job done. He gets away without being challenged by Jake Edson in the mainly white 24 car in second place. Then McKay Snow in third position in the number 63, coming under a little bit of pressure from the darker red and white Mo-Speed car of Corey Fergus. And right in behind them, Sebastian Landy. He'll be counting his blessings that he managed to avoid that accident right in front of him at the start.
He will, because he got involved yesterday in an incident turn 2 or 3 with Andrew Long as well, and damaged a splitter on that car. That's why he was struggling through that whole of the race yesterday. Slipped well back from the leaders, but hanging right with them now, looking for a way past Corey Fergus. Behind him is the Masters Club leader, David Baker, and then right behind me is Charlie Luck in car number 45. He's made a great start on that first lap. We haven't mentioned him yet, but he's leading the Gold Cup cars. Had his first podium finish yesterday, did Charlie. He was thrilled to bits with that, as he should be, and he's looking now perhaps to get his first win. He's got David Giacotti, has a lot more experience in these cars right behind him as they head towards turn 6. That's car numbers 45 and 6.
45 with the dark red and green colour scheme, and Ducati comes down the inside behind the championship contender in the other NGT car. Sitting in there is Victor Gomez, and Ducati goes to the lead in the gold category, and off has gone that beautiful blue and tangerine car of Mark Cavani in the Masters Platinum class. He's taken a little unusual line through the chicane, but he's managed to get through it. Now, as far as the championship in gold is concerned, we said we'd keep you up to date with that, and now we're back to racing, as Mark Cavami was trying to go around the outside of Fred Keimer, who is our gold category leader, bumps across the gravel, and actually was quite lucky to get back onto the circuit and keep his momentum going as Ducote goes to the lead there. Charlie Luck is just a little bit too far back in the championship, so it's between Victor Gomez and Fred Keimer, and at the moment there are 2 cars between those guys as Victor Gomez is up into 3rd, so that is enough points for Victor Gomez to take the championship by a couple of points. Now, on count back, if there is an opportunity here for them to finish on exactly the same points tally. On count back, if Fred Keimer doesn't win the race, which they couldn't tie if he did, at that point Victor Gomez would win the championship because he has better results.
That's correct. He's got 3 wins to his credit in the Gold Cup this season, and Fred has none. So Victor Gomez is doing exactly what he needs to do right now. And for Fred Keimer, for NGT Motorsports, teammates, of course, those 2 are at NGT Motorsports. So it's good looking for Ramin Wahib and the guys and girls at NGT. They can't really lose. But for Fred Keimer, he needs to try and make up a position here. Maybe he can get past the veteran Mike Levitas in kind of a 36. But Levitas, with his wealth of experience, that's not going to be easy to do.
Well, also, I think Victor Gomez is out to move forward because he's got Charlie Luck in his sights now. This is the battle for 2nd and 3rd in the gold category. Down through the S's now in beautiful, relatively early morning sunshine, mid-morning sunshine, let's call it here at Road Atlanta, through to turn 5. Uphill here, can't quite see the exit as you come over the top of the brow. Now charging down towards turn 6, which is a right-hander, heavily banked. Got to find your braking point. It's much later than you think. You don't have to brake as hard as you often think you should.
And that last lap, by the way, Fred Keimer did get away past Alan Metney, past kind of a 99, so that is significant. That leads him leaving level on points. It's not enough because he's going to have to get 1 more position if he's going to get this championship.
Well, I'm not sure what the team are saying to Victor Gomez, but he is not content with 3rd. He's come all the way to driver's left. He's coming from a long way back here on Charlie Luck. I don't think he's there going into turn 10. No, he isn't. And he's actually cost himself a little bit of ground there as Mike Levitas closes in on him. The Porsche, he's coming down the inside of the final corner. This could be dangerous. No, he backs out of it. That was a very wise move indeed.
Yeah, he's smart.
A wise non-move, in effect. Thought he had a run, and now he's having to defend with Mike Levitas, and here comes Keimer. Keimer there. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th together, and 2 of those cars, 3rd and 5th, are battling for the championship. Levitas in the 36, the blue and red car, going over the top of the skyline now at turn 3 and heading down through the S's, right in the middle, literally, of the championship battle.
Good stuff here. A good battle going, several good battles going on. A great battle for the lead now. They've closed up a little bit on Trenton Esteban on that last lap, and in fact, McKay Snow has just set the fastest lap of the race last time around at 1:24.8. So he, in 3rd place, is on a charging car number 63.
That's because he's been pushed by Corey Fergus in that Merspeed 00 car.
So.
But the battle that we have to keep our eyes on, because the championship is not resolved, is for the championship in gold category. Leaders down towards turn 10. The black and gold car, not quite within striking distance for Jake Edson, our champion. The 24 car in 2nd position. Goes past us now and heads off to complete the 8th lap. Heads up towards turn 1. The top 5 still pretty much together. There's only 3.1 seconds between them. David Baker having a fairly lonely race, leading the Platinum Masters category. David Ducote looking to make it a double this weekend in the gold category. He's on his own. Then this battle. Charlie Luck, Victor Gomez, Michael Levitas and Frank Keimer are as one. Alan Mentney's right there as well. Mentney having a little look there, going up towards turn 2. Local man from the Atlanta area, and was looking to get up the right-hand side there of our championship leader in gold, Fred Keimer, in the 23. Victor Gomez knows he's not safe. At the moment, if it finished now, yes, he would be the gold champion. But one position change could make a huge difference to the championship standings. Well, no DRS, no pass flaps here. This is all about good old-fashioned drafting. And Victor Gomez pulled out maybe a tiny little bit early there. And once again, he's going to come under pressure from Mike Levitas in the light blue and red car behind him, but he drops back. Does that give Fred Keimer a chance through the final corner? This battle for Gold Cup Championship honours. Charlie, look. He's had a good comeback season, Charlie. Getting back into the swing of it took him 2 or 3 events just to find his pace again. But the certainly last half of the season, he's had a good run.
We've seen trading fastest laps at the front of the field, not by our race leader, Trenton Estep, by the 2 guys behind him. 2 laps ago, it was number 63, McKay Snow, set the fastest lap of the race, 124.8. Next lap, it was Jake Edson, at 124.7. This last lap, it was McKay Snow again, at 124.6. And now Trenton Estep, our leader, goes purple, fastest of all in Sector 1.
Through 6 and towards 7. Down the inside, it's an outside overtaking manoeuvre. It comes from a long way back. Oh, that is...
Locks up the brakes.
You've got to commit from a very long way back there and get a great run out of 6 if you're going to do the driver in front of you into turn number 7. It is, as I said, it's an outside chance of an overtaking manoeuvre. It's not a low percentage lunge there, but it's still an outside chance if you are creating overtaking manoeuvres. Trenton Estep has picked up the pace, and down the inside, this is significant. Fred Keimer moves up, and he goes through on Mike Levitas. That will put him 4th in the gold category, and that nets him an extra couple of points, and that takes him back to the lead of the gold championship as it stands right now. And ahead of him, the man who is racing for the championship. He's got a 4-point cushion on the car in front. If he stays where he is, if he stays 1 place behind that green and red car, he is the champion. Lovely overtaking manoeuvre by Fred, coming down the hill. Stayed behind the car he was passing much, much longer than Victor did the lap before, Jeremy.
Yeah, brilliant. Really, really good. And he gave no indication he was going to do that last minute. He dives out, gets really late on the brakes going into the corner, just leaves Levitas no opportunity to make that left-hand turn because Fred Keimer's car is already there.
Correct.
Textbook pass by Fred Keimer. That's really, really impressive.
That might be winning him the championship.
Yeah.
That move might just keep him at the head of the championship lead. He's not won a race this year, and I'm sure that will rankle slightly with him, but what he wants is the championship. Now it looks to me as though Charlie Luck's got real trouble now, because here comes Victor Gomez. Now he's moved in one way, he can't go back the other. Oh, that's getting marginal. Drifts over to the right-hand side, but there goes Victor Gomez down the inside, and that point is reversed again. That points position is reversed again. So now, leading the gold championship as it stands right now as we come to complete this lap is the 25 car. So Fred Keimer knows what he's got to do. He's got to get past Charlie Luck and get back on the tail of Victor Gomez. Doesn't have to pack Victor. Does not have to pass him, but he does have to get through. And I'm hearing a blocking warning for, I think, the 24 car was what I heard. So that would be Jake Edson in 2nd place. Excuse me, it was the 45. It was the 45 car.
Okay, moot point, because that pass has now been made.
Happened, yes, but he's been, well, yes and no, Jeremy,
yes,
because you've got the championship, another championship contender behind him. It's what race control is seeing is Charlie. Now, easy, son, this is the championship here. Let's not get involved in that. If it's a clean pass, it's a clean pass. Levitas coming through in 5th position in gold, and then Alan Metney behind him in the mainly white Porsche. Now, Fred Keimer with that red-fronted NGT car, the grey bodywork. He's not close enough, I don't think, and Victor Gomez is getting away into clear air. No, he isn't close enough. Fred won't be able to go past Charlie here. Down the hill. He has a look. Is that just trying to set him up for the over and under move?
He's just thinking about it, I think, on that. He wasn't really necessarily looking to make the move on that lap, but making Charlie Luck know that he is there, and that's what he's thinking about for the remaining 22.5 minutes of this race.
Now, what I expect to see happen now is Victor Gomez pull away from Charlie Luck. Jeremy, you said it. I think he has got a better car under him at the moment at this part of the race. And I expect him to pull away. Oh, Sebastian Landy's been off at turn 5. And that was 5th position disappearing for him. No, he's held on to it just.
Yeah, he's been slipping back just a little bit over the last few laps. Struggling yesterday, having torn the splitter off the car in the incident early in the race when he was off the road at turn 3. And he's all over the curbs going through the S's. Man.
Yeah, you are supposed to, everybody tells me, you are supposed to run your right-hand side wheels down the edge of the curb there, but not drop them over onto the grass. And the Yokohama tyre is not built for rally crossing. The black and gold leading car is driven by Trent and Estep through the S's and up to turn 5. Edson in 2nd, Snow in 3rd. And then the more speed car of Corey Fergus in 4th position. Those are the leaders. Now, meantime, in the gold category, Fred Keimer has not been able to get past Charlie Luck. And in fact, there's 7/10 of a second now. And as I thought, Victor Gomez has pulled away to the tune of over a second now. Snow goes down the back straight in the red and white Motors car.
Yeah, and David Ducote pulling away in the lead in Gold Club in car number 6.
He's caught David Baker, actually.
Yes, he has. He's right with David Baker, isn't he? And Fred Keimer, they're still looking to try and make a move on Charlie Luck, but Charlie, he's been out of motorsports for 20 years prior to this year. He did some what was then NASCAR Busch Series competition, the equivalent of Xfinity 20-odd years ago. Did motocross before that. And but he's back in the groove now.
Oh, and he's loving it. Big smile on his face every time we see him. Well, that was 7/10 of a second when they went across the line, so maybe the 23 car, Fred Keimer, just cooling his Yokohamas a bit. He comes down the inside, copyboot move again. He loves that. He's made that part of the circuit his, and that's put him back in the point position.
Wow, what a
for
battle.
The championship.
Yeah, what a battle this is turning out to be.
Magnificent, Jeremy. Last 20 minutes of the season, and Fred Keimer is back in the lead of the championship. And now the only thing that Victor Gomez can do is chase down and pass David Ducote. And that's a tall ask if he's going to win the championship. Another beautiful overtake from Keimer.
Absolutely, just super late on the brakes, absolutely incisive. Gets the car to the apex. Really good job with that. That was a great pass.
He's offline, he's braking super late, but the car never looks out the line. And he's not drifting wide on the exit either. He's got that entrance to the left-hander at turn 10 nailed.
Yeah, Andrew Davis, I think, does a lot of coaching there at Wright Motorsports, and clearly he's been, Fred Keimer's been, well, no, wait a minute, it's NGT, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beg your pardon.
Yeah, NGT looking for 1st and 2nd in the championship. They will be 1st and 2nd in their Gold Drivers' Championship. Just which way around, we're not sure at the moment. Now, Ducote is now tied up behind the Platinum Masters Class leader, 6th position overall, David Baker. And with 18.5 minutes left, is there enough time for Victor Gomez to chase down David Ducote ahead of him? He's going to have to find some pace.
I don't think he has the pace. He hasn't all weekend long. We'll see what the lap times are this time. Last time, David Ducote just turned his best lap of the race at a 26.3, couple of tenths quicker.
Oh, and he's gone up the inside. Oh, nearly. At turn 1, Ducote.
Well, that time Victor Gomez turned his best lap of the race at a 26.1.
Well, I'm wondering if David Ducote down the faster bits is getting a little bit of a tour from the more powerful Gen 2 car.
He is.
He's being held up a little bit in the corners.
That's it.
Swings and, if you will, roundabouts, Mr. Shaw.
There you go. You're absolutely right, John. But right now for David Ducote, he's got a pretty useful margin. 2.3 seconds he has over Fred Keimer. Excuse me, Ducote over Gomez, 2.3 seconds going into this lap number 15 completed, 17 minutes remaining.
Now, what David Ducote doesn't want to do is end up facing the wrong direction or in the wall here. He'll want another victory. Not a full season competitor, but always competitive when he turns out on the track. Caught up in an incident at Road America, I seem to remember, in one of the races there. Fred Keimer staying ahead of Charlie Look at the moment in terms of 3rd and 4th position, but Charlie's coming back here.
Yes.
And you know, we've said this before, 45 minutes. This is a relatively long race. Yokohama do an outstanding job with the tyre supply for this championship, but you do have the option to set the car up for when it's new tyres and heavy fuel load, or lighter car with tyres that have been raced on for 35 or so minutes. And we're getting into that area now. Half an hour of racing has been completed. Trenton Estep leads by the better part of a second from our champion, Jake Edson, for 2017. A great season for him. And Kay Snow and Corey Fergus back together again, with Fergus doing his best first sector last time around. Well, that's significant. Fred Keimer now up into 3rd, ahead of Charlie Look in the Gold Cup category. Ahead of him in 2nd, Victor Gomez. Now, Victor, at the moment, needs to get past David Ducote if he is going to take the championship. This is extraordinarily close in the last quarter of an hour of the 2017 season. It could not be closer if these two were battling door handle to door handle. Ducote now, I wonder if Ducote's just been following David Baker a little bit too closely, might have taken too much out of the tyres. Pure speculation by me here. Nothing that I'm not unused to doing. 1:24.3 last time around by Estep, and he stretches the lead to Jake Edson at the front of the field by 1/10 of a second or so. But here comes Victor Gomez. Victor Gomez now, I'm sure, spurred on by seeing the multicoloured rear end of that Kelly Moss Road and Race car of David Ducote ahead of him. The car with the bright yellow wheels going through the first turn now, heading up to the top of the hill, and Ducote knows it. He knows he's under pressure. Doesn't have to be told by his team. He'll now see that bright fluorescent orange, and he's there. Gomez is there. David Baker very slow through turns 3 and 4, coming down through the S's, and Gomez is going to try and pounce immediately. He knows he's got a chance here. Got to get a good run out of turn 5. Don't get too close. If he does that here, he'll be able to pull down to the inside. Ducote goes to the right-hand side of the track. He knows he's under pressure for the lead of the Gold Cup class, and he's just about held on there. Smart driving by Ducote, but brilliant driving from Gomez to try and make that attack immediately. He got onto the back of the leader.
And for the 3rd or 4th lap in a row, Victor Gomez has turned his best lap of the weekend in a race. He's a couple of tenths quicker than he went yesterday as he's closing that deficit to car number 6. He needs this class win today to wrest away the championship from Fred Keimer.
Fred Keimer leads the championship by 4 points coming into this race. As it stands at the moment, the gap is 2 points in the favour of Keimer in the 23 car, the mainly grey car with that signature NGT fluorescent front end. He sits in 3rd position in the gold category at the moment, coming to the end of another lap. However, if Charlie Look can get by him, he loses 2 more points. And on the tie-break, with no wins to his name this season, Fred Keimer cannot afford that to happen. Keimer defending his championship lead from Charlie Look as they go through turn 1. Goes a little bit wide, opens the door for Charlie. Do you know what? If you're going to be fighting somebody for the championship position, Charlie Look is one of the drivers I don't think I would mind doing it with, Jeremy, because he's an experienced driver. He hasn't driven for a while, but he's not going to lose his head there and make a wild manoeuvre. He'll race you hard, but he'll race you fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you're absolutely right on that score, John Hindhoff, and this is really tense moments in the closing stages for both of these two. I'm sure for the team team principals at NGT Motorsports, yeah, they'd be biting their nails as well.
I'm sure there's people listening and watching, Jeremy, who would say, well, why is David Ducote even bothering? He's not in the championship race. Why is Charlie Luck still hassling the back of Fred Keimer? Because they're races, and it's the fair thing to do. They're all battling for overall positions and class positions. It's not as if we're talking about lapped cars here. We're not talking about teams getting involved with other teams' drivers, and this is what you expect people to do. Race hard, race fair, and if the guys who are competing in the championship can make the move, so be it. And that's the fair way to look at it, I think.
Yeah, completely agree. There's good, clean racing going on there right now. We've seen some kind of iffy moves during this season, but some good, clean racing going on at the moment.
Fred Keimer, for the moment, has maybe 10 cars lengths, eight let's call it, as he goes through turn number 1 on Charlie Luck. And Charlie will know the importance of making a move, if he does make a move, that is absolutely clean. Further up the S's and through turn 5, looked like Gomez had got a bit of a run again. David Ducote pulls to the right-hand side, but Gomez is looking. He's still looking. He'd come back to the right-hand side. Try to do the over and under. Now, we've seen him do this before. He may go down the inside at turn number 6. No, he doesn't get the run to turn 7.
No, because David Ducote is wise to that one. He's been around this sport a long, long time, and he saw what was happening there. I think he slowed the car up a little bit at the apex to make sure he got a good run off turn 6 and into 7, so he's able to maintain that advantage. Heads up driving from both of these two.
Well, again, I said it about Charlie Luck. Again, if you're racing against someone for your championship, David Ducote has a lot of race miles under his wheels. And he will be hard but fair as well. Victor Gomez knows now, though, that it has to be a big manoeuvre. Under 10 minutes to go here at Road Atlanta. IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama, with battles on the circuit for 1st and 2nd overall, for 3rd and 4th overall, and for the championship in Gold Cup, as Corey Fergus looks to get on the podium yet again.
The fastest overall race lap there for Trenton Estep at the front of the field, extended his margin over Edson, the champion, to 1.6 seconds now. 1:24.318 for Trenton Estep.
Charlie Luck dropping away from the back of Fred Keimer at the moment. Victor Gomez not getting any help there. He's going to have to do this himself. Oh, he gets a huge slide coming out of 10-8. And just when he was setting up David Ducote for maybe a move at the end of the lap, just loses his momentum. He's leaning on those Yokohama tyres so hard across the line. 8.5 minutes to go, less than that now. 8 minutes 20 seconds. Magnificent stuff in the sunshine at Road Atlanta. What a way to end the season. Jake Edson, well, it would have been nice to take another victory. 11 pole positions for Edson this year. And it looks like he's going to have to settle for a spot on the podium to celebrate his championship win. But who will join Trenton Estep and Jake Edson? Will it be Snow or Fergus? They're still battling it out. And Charlie Luck's come back to life again. Well, there's that experience we were talking about. Jeremy may have just cooled his heels and his Yokohama tyres a little bit. Charlie Luck still may be a factor in the Gold Championship this year, as Fergus looks again towards turn 1 and the back of the right motorsport, red, white and blue Porsche, as McKay Snow heads up the hill to turn 2. This is going to go all the way to the end, isn't it? What a great way to end the season. What a great way. After a couple of rather staccato races at Sonoma, and the first race here interrupted by full course yellows. Well, yes, we've had one here, but what a race it's been. And the class showing it has risen to the top in both of our categories. Now, as if that excitement wasn't enough for all this battling, we've got lapped traffic, because I think Greg Palmer is going to come into the fray here for certainly the battle between Corey Fergus and McKay Snow. He's not that far, he's about halfway along the back straight as they came onto it from turn 7. So he's going to have to be watching his mirrors. This circuit is great to race on, isn't it?
Yes.
Road Atlanta 2017, round 16 of the championship.
Great mix of corners here, elevation change, fast, challenging corners, slow corners where you've got to make sure you've got the power on coming out of it, really good variety. That's what racing drivers love.
Victor Gomez back out 3/4 of a second behind David Ducote, but then puts his fastest first sector of the race in, so he is doing what we've seen him do for a couple of laps, and he's going to try and charge back to the rear bumper of David Ducote and catch him unawares, maybe. Was past us now, and he was right on the ragged edge. Gomez, as he went down towards turn 1, and he's closed back up to Ducote. Going through turn 1 now. That's not 3/4 of a second, nowhere near it. Just under half a second now. And tiny margins here for the championship. David Ducote driving an absolutely textbook line. He's staying off the curbs, doesn't need to ride them. He's just making it impossible for Victor Gomez. He's putting his car exactly where Victor Gomez doesn't want it, but now there's a chance, side by side. This is effectively for the championship. They almost touch going down into turn 6. Ducote has the preferred line and holds on to the Gold Cup category lead. Great driving by both. Is Victor going to come down the inside at 7? Sorry, no, he's not.
Ooh,
big
mistake.
Slide though by Ducote. Now, has that cost him a mile an hour or 2 coming out of turn 7? It has. And here comes the aerodynamic effect. Gomez getting closer, inching towards it. It's not happening quick enough for Victor as we're inside the last 5 minutes. David Ducote just goes to the inside for a moment. Oh, big slide by Victor Gomez. He's working his Yokohama tyres so hard there can be hardly anything left in them now. He's been charging for all of the race. He knows that car, David Ducote, is what's standing between him and the championship in the gold class. Great driving for half a lap and more. Last 3 3/4 minutes of the 2017 IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama season. The leaders at the front of the field, Trenton Estep and Jake Edson, come over the rise and down to the last corner on this 2.54 mile circuit. Bill Smith in the orange car is going to be lapped, blue flags waving. He's a good driver, he's looking in his mirrors, he's seen the leader go through, and Edson's right there. Oh, little flash of the indicator lets him go through. Meanwhile, look at the bottom of the screen. So battles now that affect the Gold Cup Championship and where it goes, which driver. Fred Keimer coming out of turn 7 with Charlie Look right behind him. If it stays like that, Fred Keimer is the champion, provided that Victor Gomez stays behind David Ducote. He's only 3/10 behind him at the moment. If Charlie Look goes by, or if Gomez makes a position, then Gomez is the champion. And we've got this lap and a couple more, perhaps, to decide the destiny of the championship.
Yeah, where are the leaders? It kind of depends where the leaders are. They're not too far away from competing another lap, but in fact, up in the lead is still Trenton Estep, but Jake Edson has closed that margin down again. It was out to 1.6 seconds 3 or 4 laps ago, now down to about 3/4 of a second. So
I'm sure Jake would like to finish the season with another win.
Yes.
But he doesn't want to finish it off in the gravel. It'd be on the podium and celebrating the championship is great. Meantime, in the gold category, oh, Gomez goes to the right this time, and he has caught Ducote unaware. Ducote can't close the door. The green and red car is already there, down towards turn 6. Wow, Ducote is so late on the brakes. Looked like he got a better hookup. Maybe the 25 car was just on the dirtier side of the track and couldn't get the traction coming out of turn 5. That was an audacious manoeuvre by young Victor Gomez. Went all the way to the right-hand side coming out of turn 5, but still couldn't make it.
No, good.
He's trying a lot of different things, Jeremy, not just the same thing over and over again. I'll give him his due.
That's true. That's true. And David Ducote, he's driving smart as well. It's a great battle between these two.
Well, I tell you, if Gomez wins this championship, he's going to have to do it in the last 2 laps. And he will have worked very hard for it indeed. David Baker now is just ahead of this battle in the blue and white car. And that may be a factor. The gold leader is David Ducote. Second in the gold championship, the 25 green and yellow car, as Charlie Look gets a good run out of the final corner down into turn 1, and Fred Keimer's under pressure, and that could change the championship as well. No white flag. I did not see the white flag last time around. They will get it now. Here come the leaders. So there is still the lap that they are on, and another one for the Gold Cup battle. The leaders are on their last lap, and Jake Edson has saved a little bit, Jeremy. He's nearly there. Ducote is having to defend again. Now, what has Victor Gomez learned this time? He comes out of turn 7. Oh, he just gets a little slide on in the middle of turn 7 as he turned in towards the apex, the back end of his 25 Porsche, just sliding out from underneath him. That might have cost him, but he's going to get one more lap after this one. He's got to plan, he's got to scheme, he's got to make that dive, that pass count. Setting it up in his mind at the moment, Ducote.
Super late on the brakes there, Victor Gomez. He closes right up on the tail of David Ducote, and he goes a good run on the exit of that corner as well. I don't think he's going to be able to make a pass coming down the hill.
He's having a look into 11. That's an audacious manoeuvre again. I think he might have been better to hold on and get a better run to turn 1, Jeremy, but he thought there was a chance there. He's tried now, and I think about 8 of the 11 corners here.
Yeah.
Extraordinary stuff.
It was, I think I completely agree with you there. He kind of dived to the inside there, cost him some momentum going through turn 12.
Meantime, the leaders are together coming out of the chicane for the final time. The last lap, the last corner now of the 2017 IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. And Trendon Estep gets the final victory. His second on the season, but it's Jake Edson who will be on the podium and take the championship. Corey Fergus has got through on the last lap. Fergus gets through, and Madison Snow misses out on the podium again. Great run by Fergus as he'll take second in the championship. Oh, magnificent stuff. And now, what has Victor Gomez got? He's got 3 more corners. David Ducote holding on for what would be a double win in the Gold Cup category this weekend. Victor Gomez is going to have to come from too far back. I don't think it's there. So Gomez is going to have to try and pull it off on the final corner. He's got a great run out of 10A, but David Ducote will put his car in the middle of the road. It's not going to be the win in Gold Cup category for Gomez. It's Ducote who gets the win. Gomez is second, and now we have to wait to see who comes home third. If it's Fred Keimer, he wins the championship. If it's Charlie Look, the championship will go to Victor Gomez, and it's Keimer. Keimer comes through the final corner. He hasn't won this season, but he's taken the championship. He punches the air in delight, and well he should. That is a victory for smart driving, for consistency, and for bringing the car back without a scratch on it. Right the way through the year, he finishes and takes the championship with a step on the podium.
Tremendous race. What a great way to finish off this 2017 Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. Excellent driving by a whole bunch of different people. Messy start, but what a great drive by Trendon Estep to win the race. What a good push by Jake Edson to finish in second place. What a great pass on that final lap by Corey Fergus to sneak that final podium position.
The cars are back in the pit lane after the second race of the weekend for the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama here at Road Atlanta. If you're not in the top 3 in your class, it's straight back to the paddock. If you are, you get directed to driver's left and get ready for the podium celebrations. Let's check the results with Trendon Estep from JDX Racing taking the 16th and final top step of the podium in 2017 in platinum. David Ducote on the top step in gold. Andrew Long with problems earlier on for Wright Motorsports. But let's hear from the man who won in Platinum. Here's Trenton.
Starting on the outside, I was a little bit skeptical. It was my first time starting the outside during the weekend, so I didn't really know what was to come, but I managed to get a good start behind Jake, slot in behind him, and then he went defensive, but not as defensive as I thought, and I just went to the inside and managed to get it. Yeah, no, it was an unbelievable day for the guys at JDX Racing. It hurts. Gave me an unbelievable car to get at the start and maintain it, so it was really, really good. Good way to end the season.
A great way to end the season for Trenton Estep, third in the championship too, behind Corey Fergus and our runaway champion in the Platinum category for 2017, Jake Edson. In gold, a much closer affair, edge of the seat stuff right until the end. Roman De Angelis, the luckless man, in third position. Victor Gomez came up 2 points short. Fred Keimer, our gold champion. But David Ducote, 2 wins at Road Atlanta.
It was exciting. We had an exciting start, and I lost a couple of positions, but I was able to catch one back up and hold my line, and I was battle with a Platinum car from time to time, and that got interesting. And then Gomez did a great job at the end trying to catch up and reel me in, and I was able to hang on. But it was a great weekend, great comeback. I've been out for a while, and appreciate everything Kelly Moss did to get me back in the game, and Vulcan, my sponsor.
Road Atlanta has been the perfect venue and provided the perfect backdrop to our final race action of 2017's IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. Thanks to all the teams and the drivers, to the volunteer marshals and officials at every track we've visited this year. I'm John Hindorf. Jeremy Shaw has been alongside me. Our hard-working production team have done all the magic behind the scenes. Porsche Racing returns in 2018. Until then, enjoy the rest of the year and the holiday season. We'll see you for the start of a brand new IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama season at Sebring, Florida.